Have a comfortable seat. Cross your legs in the center of your shins. If you prefer Virasana, that's fine. Ensure that your shoulders are over your hips, that you're not leaning forward and you're not leaning back, and that there's a rising to the spine. There's a lifting to the spine. Balance evenly on your sits bones. Lengthen through the inner groins, from the inner knees to the lower abdomen, from the lower abdomen to the inner knees. An opening. Allow the flesh of the inner thighs to descend. There's a releasing and relaxing. Draw from the outer knees to the outer hips. Compact the hips together without changing anything that you have done to the inner leg. So the inner legs, the outer legs are working differently. Keep your front bottom ribs moving towards the back body. From the base of your spine, stack your vertebrae one by one on top of each other. Make it longer as you do so. And then find a lengthening in the side ribs from the hips to the armpits, become longer. And see if you can spread your awareness to both side ribs, both sides of the torso at the same time, and see if you can make them even or closer to even. And while you're lengthening through the side ribs, while you're lengthening the spine itself, allow the shoulders to descend down and away from the sides of your neck. As you make the adjustments to your body, noticing the effects that this has on your body, yes, and also on your mind, on your breath. Does the experience of your mind, does the experience of your breath change as you make these adjustments to the physical body? Lengthen from your armpits to your inner elbows. Draw your elbows down and bring your palms together. Allow the palms to touch evenly. Rest your eyes into your cheekbones. Let your facial features completely release, let go. Let's chant the syllable Om 3 times together. Exhaling completely. Deep inhalation. Om. Lifting your sternum towards the ceiling, lower your chin towards your heart. Release your hands onto your thighs with your palms up. With your eyes closed, raise your head from the back of your eyes, let your eyelids open. Change the cross of your legs. Rebalance evenly on the sit bones. Re-release the inner groins. Redescend the flesh of the inner thighs. Redraw from the outer knees to the outer hips and compact the hips together. Restack the vertebrae one by one on top of each other. Re-lengthen through the side ribs. Allow the shoulders to descend, moving away from the sides of your neck as you re-lengthen from the inner armpits to the inner elbows. And interlace your fingers together, turn your palms out, push the webbing of your fingers together, inhale, come up. Keep the shoulders over the hips, resist leaning back, extend the wrist towards the ceiling, the shoulders still go down, resist tucking the chin, so keep your chin parallel to the floor, opening the armpits. Now I'm going to twist, so inhale, extend up, exhale, turn to the right. Not just the head, but wrap the ribs around. Keep the chin in line with the sternum and see if you can wrap the torso around. Find an optimal place to be. Inhale, exhale, come to center. Readjust the even balance of the sit bones, lengthen through the side ribs, extend your wrists up, lengthen to the spine. Inhale, really lengthen. On your exhale, keep that length and turn to the left. Don't just turn the head. Keep the chin in line with the sternum and wrap the torso around, wrap the ribs around. Keep the arms back optimally. Now the groin's still soft. Inhale, exhale, come to center. Release your arms out to the side. Rest your hands, palms up, palms down. Doesn't matter. Whatever feels it. I said it doesn't matter. There is a different experience with your palms up and palms down. So do what feels more comfortable for you right now. Now interlace your fingers together the opposite way. Put the opposite first finger on top. Sometimes I gotta go check it out. All right, this is the second way. Turn your palms out. Push the webbing of your fingers together. Inhale, come up. Wrist towards the ceiling. Lengthen through the side ribs. Press the sit bones down as you lengthen through the side ribs. Chin parallel to the floor. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Turn the torso. Rotate to the right. The head follows. The head doesn't lead. The shoulders still descend as the arms go up. So you're making the arms themselves longer. Inhale, exhale, come to center. Extend up again. Inhale, exhale, turn to the left again with the torso. And for me, the ribs are a clear place to look at. I know where they are, so I can focus on wrapping those ribs around. Keeping the chin in line with the sternum. Finding an optimal turn for you today. Shoulders down as the arms go up. Keep that space in the neck. Inhale, extend up. Exhale, come to center. Release the arms out to the side. Rest your palms, palms up, palms down. Whatever's feeling comfortable for you today. Extend your arms forward, arms up. Turn your palms out, take your arms halfway down, drop the shoulders. Twisting again. Inhale, exhale, turning to the right. So the left hand goes, I'm sorry, right hand goes behind you, left hand goes on the outside of your knee. Now again, we don't want to focus on the head. Lift up through the spine, lift up through the side ribs, and as you exhale, you can bend your elbow, especially that front elbow, you can bend that and rotate the spine, wrap the ribs around. Bring the left shoulder blade forward into the body, drop your shoulders away from your ears. You're still balanced evenly on the sits bones. And if the answer is no, you're lifting up on that left sit bone and you have to bring more awareness there as you continue the turn. You're not stationary, you're not static, you're examining. Are you gripping in the inner thighs? Let go. You're compacting the hips. How does this change from moment to moment? Inhale, maintain that lift. On your exhalation, come to center. Arms forward, arms up. Keep those ribs into the body, front bottom ribs back as you take the arms up. Take your hands out to the side, halfway down, drop the shoulders. Inhale, lift. On your exhalation, turn to the left. Remember the chin stays in line with the sternum. You can bend that front elbow. On each inhalation, you lift and lengthen. On the exhalation, you rotate. Maintain the even balance of the sit bones, lengthen the inner groins, compact the hips. Take your right shoulder blade into the body. As you take that right shoulder blade into the body, make sure your shoulders themselves are dropping down. And notice how you're not a static statue. Inhale, maintain that lift. Exhale, come to center. Come off of your lift, lie back. Lie back, arms out to the side, bend your legs into your chest. Keep your thighs together. Inhale, on your exhalation, take your knees towards your right elbow. Keep the thighs together as you do so. Keep your right shoulder down to keep your left shoulder down. Right, the left shoulder and shoulder blade tend to come up. So you want to keep that right shoulder down in order to, or press into the right shoulder is a better way to say, so that the left shoulder stays down. Turn your abdomen to the left as the knees go to the right. And take your left outer hip away from your left shoulder. Left outer hip away from your left shoulder. And then pushing with your bottom leg. Inhale, come up to center. Place your feet on the floor, square your hips and square your shoulders. And bend your legs back into your chest. Keep the thighs together. Inhale, take your knees towards your left elbow. Keep the thighs together so the bottom thigh presses into the top thigh. Press into your left shoulder now to keep the right shoulder and shoulder blade down. Turn your abdomen to the right as the knees go to the left. And take your right outer hip away from your right shoulder. And again, you're not static. You're not a statue. Continue to examine the pose. Do the thighs fall apart? Does the opposite shoulder begin to rise up? Do you stop the turning of the abdomen? Are your groins soft? I know I didn't give that specific instruction, but it's the same. We've been working on that for a long time now. Of course, in the other poses today, but over the past month. Push with the bottom leg. Inhale, come up. Place your feet on the floor. Square your hips and square your shoulders. We're going to do the same pose, but we're going to do it with movement and connected to the breath. So bend your legs into your chest. Inhale. On your exhalation, take your knees towards your right elbow. On your inhalation, come back up to center. On your exhalation, go towards your left elbow. On your inhalation, come up to center. On your exhalation, towards your right elbow. The pace of your breath. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, back to your left elbow. Inhale, up to center. Take your feet on the floor, square your hips and square your shoulders. Now you're moving with the pace of your breath, which means that the movements are, dependent on your breath, are fairly quick. So when I had you stay there, I gave all these instructions about your abdomen turning one way as your knees go to the other, about the outer hip moving away from the shoulder, about pressing to one shoulder to keep the other shoulder down. So I in the speed of your breath, I can't say all those instructions. But we did it, and we've done it before. Everyone's been to these classes before. There's nobody new here. So as you do this again at the pace of your breath, can you keep some of those things that we spoke about when we held the pose? It's not going to be the same. You're not going to get them all. You're not going to get them exactly. That's fine. But can you begin to bring awareness to the poses as a whole, even with the movement? So bend your legs into your chest. Inhale. Remember all the different actions. Exhale, take your knees to the right elbow. It's the pace of your breath. Inhale, back up. Knees to the left elbow. Abdomen turning the opposite way. Hip going away from your shoulder. Inhale, back up. Exhaling to the other side. I'm going to stop talking so you can really pay attention to your breath and not just my words. And can you tie these actions to your breath? And as you move the knees, can you include the other actions of the abdomen rotating in the opposite direction, of the outer hip moving away from your shoulder, keeping the shoulder, the opposite shoulder and shoulder blade down? And if not all of them, because the mind, the awareness won't expand today, it's fine. Pick one. I'm focusing on this. I'm going to make sure that each turn back and forth maintains this piece of it. And then once you finish, once you're even on your left and right, you can come to center, place your feet on the floor. And then roll to the right, come up. You can roll to the left if you want. Rolling to the right is just in my brain. I'm all going to say that, but it's always fine to roll to the left. Come up and take a chair. Have the back of the chair facing me. And then sit in your chair with the right side of your chair facing the back of the chair. As best you can on the type of chair you have. Yes, so the back facing me, Bob. Turn the chair around and then you'll face the parking lot. As best you can with the type of chair you have, square your hips, knees, and heels. Now, even sitting here, there's a tendency to lift the top of the buttocks up and to push the abdomen forward and push the ribs forward. So draw the front bottom ribs towards the back body. It helps to slightly, not a pelvic tilt, but it helps to slightly take the top of the buttocks down to make room for those ribs. Ensure that your shoulders are above your hips. Stack the spine, stack the vertebrae of the spine one by one on top of each other. Start the lengthening here. Lengthen through the side ribs and see if you can create an evenness on the two sides. And when we go for the turn, we want to keep that evenness of the two sides. We don't want one side to collapse and the other side to get longer. We want to seek an evenness of the two sides here. Extend your arms forward, arms up, to help with the lift and the lengthening. Arms up. Tadasana, Bob. Inhale, keep that length. Take your arms out to the side to create width, a widening. And then inhale, keep the length, keep the lift, keep the length, keep the width. Exhale, turn and take hold of the back of the chair. Keep your elbows up and your shoulders down. And begin noticing here, did one side begin to shrink? And can you keep both sides lengthened? Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Remember, we turn from the base of the spine, moving up. Inhale, lifting and lengthening. Exhale, turning. Inhale, lifting and lengthening. Exhale, turning. Remember, wrapping the ribs around. Don't lead with the head. The head stays in line with the sternum today. Elbows up, shoulders down. Bring the left shoulder blade into the body as you turn to the right. Try not to lean back or forward or side to side. The spine still remains completely vertical, completely perpendicular to the floor. It's just twisting. Inhale, on your exhalation, come to center. Keep that lift. There's a tendency to come to center and then we fall, we slouch as if we're between poses. So keep that lift and then turn to the other side. Re-square your hips, knees, and heels. Keep the front bottom ribs moving towards the back body. Stack your vertebrae one by one on top of each other as you lengthen the spine. Lengthen through the side ribs. Maintain that. Extend your arms forward, arms up. Use the extension of the arms to help lengthen through the side ribs and the spine. Inhale, on your exhalation, take your arms out to the sides, halfway down. So now we're creating width. We need length and width. Inhale, lifting, exhale, turning. Keep that width, keep that length. Hands on the back of the chair, elbows up, shoulders down. Inhale, lifting, exhale, turning. Of course, the pace of your breath, moving from the bottom of the spine to the top of the spine. Wrapping the torso around. Chin in line with your sternum. Inhale, lifting, exhale, turning. Try not to lean back. Notice if one side has shrunk. Inhale, maintain that lift. Exhale, come to center. Turn around. Square your hips, knees, and heels. Stack your vertebrae one by one on top of each other. Lengthen. Lengthen the inner groins as well. from not just from the top of the thigh, but from the lower abdomen to the inner knee, from the inner knee to the lower abdomen. Find a lengthening there. Find that descending of the inner thighs. The experience of the twist, in my experience, is quite different when we can get that lengthening of the inner groins. Front bottom ribs towards the back body, arms forward, arms up, lengthen. Inhale, exhale, arms out to the side, widen. Inhale, exhale, turn to the right, take hold of the back of the chair, elbows up, shoulders down. Now this is where, for me, as soon as I do that turn, I begin to grip the inner thighs again. So I have to go back there and use my awareness to lengthen the inner thighs and descend the flesh of the inner thighs. And then I go back to the turn. Inhale, lifting, exhale, turning. Elbows up, shoulders down. Spine perpendicular to the floor, not leaning forward or back, not leaning left or right. You're not static. The pose is ever changing. Left shoulder blade into the body. And can you observe your experience? Not what you want to get, not what you want to be happening, but what is happening. What is this experience? And not even whether you like it or not. But imagine you're going to write a term paper on this one experience. Can you study it? And of course, as you study, if you witness something that needs to be changed, you can adjust and then restudy. On your exhalation, maintain the lift, come to center. Turn around. Square your hips, knees, heels. Front bottom ribs towards the back body. Stack your vertebrae one by one on top of each other. Lengthen up through the side ribs. Now again, before you take the turn, can you lengthen the inner groins? Can you descend the flesh of the inner thighs? Maintain that. Take your arms forward, arms up. Inhale, exhale, arms out to the side. Maintain the lift and get the width. Inhale, lifting, exhale, turning towards the back of the chair. If you tighten your inner groins, this is a beautiful opportunity to re-lengthen them, reopen them, re-descend the flesh of the inner thighs. Inhale, lifting, exhale, turning. The pace of your breath, keeping the spine perpendicular to the floor. No hard fists, right? So open hands. You're gently using hands against the chair to guide the turn, but you're not muscling into it. Each inhalation we lift, each exhalation we turn. Right shoulder blade moving into the body. And studying. You're not in a static pose. It changes moment to moment. Inhale, maintain the lift. Exhale, come to center. Stand up, take your chair, as long as the chair is here. Let's take it to the edge of the mat, downward facing dog with the support of the chair, hands on the chair. Walk your feet back. So going from all these twistings to a symmetrical pose. Don't worry, we're not done with the twists. Lengthen through the inner arms. Lengthen through the armpit. Lengthen through the side ribs. Keep the front bottom ribs moving towards the back body. Press the thigh bones back as you lengthen through the inner groins. As you lift from the outer knees to the outer hips, compacting the hips together. That top of the buttocks, by the way, still moving away from your shoulders. Then look up, walk your feet forward. and come into Tadasana. Put the chair to the side. Take a couple blocks. Take them towards the front of your mat. You can use the chair. You're gonna be better with the chair, but it's to the front of the mat this time, not the back of it. We're setting up for Panfrita Trikonasana, revolve triangle pose. Fingertips up, bend your legs. Just step, don't jump, step your feet apart with that chair. Fingertips up, jump or step your feet apart. And we'll start with hands on hips for this. Left foot in, right leg out. Now we need to turn to face the side of the room. So pick up the back heel, turn the hip, or turn the hips so they're squared, place the heel down, and then you can take that block and just put it on the instep of your foot and then come back up. Now we still have the lengthening of the inner groins. We still have the lifting of the outer knees to the outer hips as we compact the hips together. The left ribs come forward, the left hip comes forward, the left ribs come forward. Now again, there's a tendency to harden the abdomen, to push it forward, to push the ribs forward. Draw the front bottom ribs towards the back body so you can release the abdomen and release the diaphragm. Now extend your left arm up, press into the back heel, extend that left arm up, reach up. Inhale. On your exhalation, reach forward, your torso becomes parallel to the floor. Keep the torso extending forward as you take the fingertips on the block. Now your right hand is on your right hip, so move your right hip back to lengthen the side ribs, right? We're still seeking an evenness of the side ribs. Right now, your right side ribs are shorter than your left. So seek an evenness, lengthen through the side ribs, inhale, and on your exhalation, begin to turn towards your front leg. Rotating again, wrapping the ribs around. So Bob, you're in Trikonasana, you want Panfrita Trikonasana. Yep, that's it. Yeah, yep. Still lengthen through the groins, still lift from the outer knees to the outer hips. If you want to extend your right arm up, you're welcome to. But the focus is not on the arm itself, but on the twist, right? That's what we're looking for. And then everyone take your hand back on your hip, press into the back heel, use your left arm and swing yourself up and out. And then watch that block, if it's in your way, as you parallel your feet. And we'll go over to the other side, right foot in, left leg out, pick up the back heel, swing that hip forward, place the heel down. It is front heel to back arch alignment. If you really don't have your balance in that, you can take a little wider stance, not against the law, and you can take that block into the instep of your foot. So that right hip has to come forward. You want your hip squared to the side wall. Of course, turning that back thigh in is going to help that hip come forward. Lengthen the inner groins, draw from the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. Keep the front bottom ribs moving towards the back body. Now, even here, before you extend the arm up, find that lengthening through the spine, right? And find the lengthening through the side ribs. And then we'll get a little more. We'll extend the arm up. The right arm goes up, right arm up. Inhale, exhale, come forward, 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 forward. When your torso is parallel to the floor, fingertips on the block. If you want flat hand, that's fine too. But now you have to take that left hip back so that the two sides of your torso are equal in length. Take that left hip back. Work on that part first. And when you feel they're as even as you can make them, inhale and exhale and turn towards that front leg. Rotate. Rotate the ribs. Keep the back heel pressing. you'd like to extend the arm up, you're welcome to. But again, we're looking at the turn. And then everybody, top hand down on your hip, press into your back heel, swing with that right arm, swing yourself up and out. Watch that block as you parallel your feet. And jump or step your feet together. Check in with yourself. How'd that go for everybody? A good and a medium. I get the medium there. This is not an easy pose. It's not an easy pose. But we are going to do it again. Fingertips up. Bend your leg. Jump or step your feet apart. Hands on hips. Left foot in, right leg out. Pick up the back heel, bring that hip forward, square the hips, take the block on the instep. Turn the back thigh in to bring the hip forward. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. But when you compact the hips together, can you still lengthen from the inner knees through the lower abdomen and take the flesh of the inner thighs back? Notice what those adjustments do, not just to those areas, but to the rest of the body and to the breath. Now lengthen through the side ribs here. We're going to keep the hands on the hips now. We're not going to take the arm up. So stack the vertebrae one by one on top of each other. Keep the front bottom ribs towards the back body. And lengthen through the side ribs. Get as much length in your torso as you can right now. Inhale. Now keep that length. On your exhale, begin to take your torso down, but seek to take the chest across the room. As you do so, keep that right hip moving back. At the same time as you take your torso down, keep the right hip moving back, take your chest forward. When your torso is parallel to the floor or in a comfortable place, take your fingertips or hand onto the block. Now lengthen the spine once again. Lengthen through the side ribs once again. Inhale. On your exhalation, rotate. Rotate from the base of the spine moving upwards. So don't rotate the shoulders and pull the abdomen with it. Although just to be clear, it can be taught that way. I've been taught that way. George, switch your hands. Just switch hands. There you go. Now you're turning towards the front leg. So you want to get your torso to begin to face the back wall. So we're not working the shoulders today to pull on the abdomen, but you're turning the abdomen in order to push the shoulders to turn. And if you'd like to extend the arm up, feel free. And then pressing into the back heel, swing with your bottom arm, swing yourself up and out. That's good, Sean. Not a bad pose. Parallel your feet. And then over to the other side. Right foot in, left leg out. Pick up the back heel, square those hips, take the back heel down, take the block on the instep of your foot. Turn the back thigh in to bring the hip forward. Lift from the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together, lengthen from your inner knees through your lower abdomen. Maintain that. Keep the front bottom ribs moving towards the back body. Stack the vertebrae one by one on top of each other. And lengthen and lift through the side ribs. Get as much length in the spine, the side ribs, the torso as you can. The length is more important than the turn. In all twists, this one too. Inhale, lifting up through the side ribs. Exhale. Now keep that left hip moving back as you come down. Don't wait until you're down. Keep the left hip moving back. Take the chest forward. Left hip moving back, chest forward. And when your torso is parallel to the floor or as far down as you plan to take it today in a comfortable place, take your fingertips or your hand on the block. Keep that left hip moving back. Now extend through the side ribs and the spine one more time. Inhaling. On your exhalation, maintain that length. and begin to rotate. Rotating from the base of the spine up. Remember, turning your abdomen to push the shoulders, right? So rotate the shoulders are turning. Don't get me wrong. The whole spine is turning. But often we just crank the shoulders and pull the rest of the spine with it. And for today, I'm asking you to do the opposite. It's more of the traditional pose is where we turn the abdomen to help rotate the rest of the torso. And if you'd like, you can extend your arm. And then if your arm is up, either keeping it up or taking it on your hip, your choice. Everybody coming out, press into the back heel, swing through that right arm, pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet. Jump or step your feet together. Tadasana. Take the blocks off the mat. So usually we do teacher Trikonasana before Panfrita Trikonasana, extended triangle pose before revolve triangle pose. But today we did revolve triangle pose first. Now we're going to do Trikonasana, and then we're going to come back to Panfrita Trikonasana, just to see what the effects are. What happens? It's a study, right? Fingertips up. Then your legs down for step your feet apart. Utthita Trikonasana. Drop your shoulders down, extend through your arms, left foot in, right leg out. Front heel in line with your back arch. And to be clear, there is a slight twist in Trikonasana. It's twisting the opposite way, but there is a twist of the spine here. Take the back thigh back, press into your back heel, turn the front thigh out, and lift from your outer knees to your outer hips. Compact the hips together. Inhale, exhale, take that right hand down, left arm up, head back. Keep pressing that back heel. Keep turning that front thigh from the inside out. Lift from the outer knees to the outer hips. Compact those hips. Rotate the torso. There's a rotation. So now we're turning the torso towards the ceiling, as if your back is completely against the wall. Extend those arms away from each other. And then pressing into the back heel, pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet, right over to the other side, right foot and left leg out. Front heel in line with your back arch. Press the outer rim of the back heel. So the back thigh has to go back so you can press the outer rim of the back heel. Turn the front thigh out at the same time as you lift from the outer knees to the outer hips. Compact the hips together. Keep pressing the back heel. Inhale, exhale, come down. Still lift from the outer knees to the outer hips as you come down. You'll have more balance if you come up a little higher on your shin, Sean. That's it. And then you get to turn the torso a little bit more. That gives more opening in the chest. When you came up, you lost your balance? Ah, well, there you go. It took me well over a year not to fall in Revolve triangle pose. That is a true story. I couldn't do that pose without falling. But practice makes better. So compact the hips together, rotate the torso, extend those arms away from each other. And pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet, jump or step your feet together. Fingertips up, bend your legs, jump or step. Drop the shoulders. Left foot in, right leg out. Front heel in line with your back arch. Press the outer rim of the back heel, turn the front thigh out, lift the outer knees to outer hips. Compact those hips. Inhale, exhale, hand down. Take the top hand on your hip. So really get the legs. Really, one of the things, Sean, I'm just saying, your front foot is forward of the toes in your back foot. And that's going to make balancing harder. You want the front heel to be in line with the back arch. So yeah, and that should help with the balance. And if you need, you can go a little wider. But if you cross it over, it's just, you can even feel it. It's going to be hard to balance. So take that back thigh back, press into the back heel. Turn the front thigh out, lift your outer knees to your outer hips, and lengthen the groins at the same time. Now rotate the torso. So take the left ribs back, right ribs forward. Don't take it in the shoulders. So the shoulders are staying away from your ears. And then finish the pose, extend the arm up. Or I should say finish the form of the pose, because now the pose actually begins. As you observe, as you study. Pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet. Arms, other side. Right foot and left leg out. Press the outer rim of the back heel. Turn the front thigh from the inside out. So you do want your front heel in line with your back arch. If that's difficult and you need to go a little wider, you can. Don't tell anyone I said that. But, we break the law sometimes. But do take the back thigh back to press into the back heel. Turn the front thigh out. Lift the outer knees to outer hips. Watch that front foot. Make sure the instep of your foot really points straight to the side. Inhale, exhale, come down. Keep lifting from the outer knees to the outer hips as you come down. Take that top hand, put it on your hip. So again, take the back thigh back to press into the back heel. But what does that do? Is you take the back thigh back, it also draws the right ribs with it. Turn the front thigh out. Lift both outer knees to outer hips. Lengthen the groins at the same time. And then wrap the ribs around. So the left ribs come forward, right ribs go back. Lean on your imaginary wall as you turn the torso. And then finish the form of the pose by extending the arm up. And then begin the actual pose, which is studying your current form, your current experience within this form, the experience of the breath within this form. And pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet. Jump or step your feet together. And then take your blocks back to the front of the mat. For those that really like the order of Trikonasana and then Panfrita Trikonasana, we're going to see what's different. Fingertips up, bend your legs, jump or step. We're going to stick with hands on hips though, because it is hard to balance in this pose. Left foot in, right leg out, pick up the back heel, take that hip forward, place the heel down. Take the block on the instep, square your hips, turn that back thigh in so that the left hip comes forward. Lengthen the groins. Lift from the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together as you maintain that lengthening of the inner thighs. Front bottom ribs back as you stack the vertebrae one by one on top of each other. As you lengthen through the side ribs. Now maintain that length. Get as much length as you can. Inhale, maintain that length as you come down. Keep the right hip moving back. As you come down, the right hip moves back, the chest moves forward. And at some point, you feel you're ready to take the arm down onto that lift that you have. To be clear, the final pose is there is no block. Your hand is on the outside of the foot. So if you feel like you want to take your block further down, or you feel you want to take the block on the outside of your foot, you can do so according to your body today. Now keep that right hip going back as you lengthen the torso. Inhale, and your exhalation, rotate towards the back of the room. Rotate towards that front leg. Start at the base of the spine, move up. Use your breath. So it's still inhale, lengthen the spine, exhale, rotate. And remember, we're rotating, the whole spine is turning. but you want to experience more at the abdomen to turn the shoulders than turning the shoulders in order to turn the abdomen. And if you feel called, you're welcome to extend your top arm up. And then to come out, press into the back heel, swing with your bottom arm, swing up and out. Parallel the feet, watch the block. Hands on hips, right foot and left leg out. Pick up the back heel, take that right hip forward, place the heel down. Take the block to the instep of your foot. Or if you want to take it lower, if you want to take it to the outer foot, the pose, that is where we're going with the pose. Turn the back thigh in to take the right hip forward. Lift from the outer knees to outer hips, compact hips together at the same time and lengthen from the inner knees to the lower abdomen. Take the front bottom ribs towards the back body. Stack the vertebrae one by one on top of each other and lengthen through the side ribs. Get as much length through the spine and side ribs as you can. Inhale, keep that length as you exhale to come down, but keep that left hip moving back as you come down, the chest moving forward as you come down. And at some point, you're called to take the hand down. Keep that left hip moving back. Inhale, lengthen through the side ribs and spine. And on your exhalation, rotate. And some of you will find that one side, you have much more balance than the other side. That one side, you can access the turn much more than the other side. Are you still lengthening through the groins? Are you compacting your hips? Feel free to extend the arm up. And now take this time to observe the pose. Now begin the pose, begin the study. And pressing into the back heel, swing with your bottom arm, swing yourself up and out. Parallel your feet. Jump or step your feet together. Tadasana. Checking in, balancing evenly on the feet. Thighs back, lengthening the groins, lifting from the outer knees to outer hips. Checking in with yourself, studying this pose. Moving the blocks out of the way. Downward facing dog. If you want to use a chair or blocks, you're welcome to. Otherwise, we're going to go from the floor. Press down through the ball of the first fingers and thumbs as you rotate your upper arms out. All right, so it's shoulders over the wrists, knees slightly behind the hips. So establish your arms, push into the floor to lengthen through the inner arms. Turn your toes under, straighten your legs. Inhale, on your exhalation, come into downward facing dog. Thighs back, chest towards your thighs, sit bones towards the ceiling. Still lengthening through the inner thighs. Still lifting from the outer knees to outer hips. Really lift those hips high, sit bones high. Front bottom ribs still moving towards the back body. And then look up, walk your feet forward. Hold your elbows for a moment. Upper arms in line with your ears. Lift from the outer knees to the outer hips. Move your hips towards the ceiling. Lengthen from the inner knees to the inner groins. Now let your arms go. Take your right hand on your hip. Take your left hand and take hold, depending where you can reach, take hold of your left ankle. Or excuse me, take your left hand, take hold of your right ankle or your right calf, not behind the knee itself, but either your ankle or your calf, or you can do the thigh as well. You're going to bend that lower arm, the left arm. So inhale, lengthen the spine, and on your exhalation, bend the left arm and turn to the right. Don't just turn the head. Rotate the ribs. Don't forget to maintain the lengthening of the inner thighs, the lengthening of the groins. It's a different experience. Do it both ways. Do it without that, do it with it. And you decide if it's a different experience. For me, it's quite a different experience. Inhale, on your exhalation, come to center. And then take your left hand on your left hip. The right hand comes around to your left leg, taking hold of either the ankle, the calf, or wherever is comfortable on your leg, just not behind the knee. Inhale, lengthening the spine first. Exhale, bend that right arm to turn to the left. Bend that elbow. Move the elbow towards the side and towards the floor. Wrap the ribs around. Don't just turn the head. And if I forget to say it at the end of class, drink a lot of water after class, not now. Inhale, exhale, come to center. Take your hands on the floor. Walk your feet back, downward facing dog. Thighs back. Lift from your outer knees to outer hips. Lengthen from your inner knees through your inner groins. George, take your heels away from each other. Just the heels, not the toes, just the heels. That pose is looking a lot better. It's really looking better. Look up, walk your feet forward. Hold your elbows the opposite way you did the first time. Lengthen through the inner groins, lift from the outer knees to outer hips. Allow the side ribs to lengthen. Let your arms go, right hand on your hip, left hand on the outside of your right leg. Inhale, lengthen the spine, lengthen the side ribs. Exhale, bend that lower arm, turn. Wrap your ribs around, begin to face towards the back wall. Inhale, exhale, come down, other side. Left hand on your left hip, right hand on the outside of your left leg. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, turn towards the left. Not just the head, the torso. Let the head dangle. Just let the head follow whatever's happening. Exhale, let your torso turn towards the floor. Take your hands on the floor. Walk your feet back, downward facing dog. Thighs back. Lift from the outer knees to the outer hips. Lengthen from the inner knees to the lower abdomen. Relax your shoulders. Thighs back, chest towards your thighs. Lengthen through those arms and armpits and side ribs as well. And your legs, allow your knees to touch the floor precisely the same moment. Take your feet together, knees apart. Extend your arms forward. Rest your head. Rest your head. The support is nice. If you comfortably go to the floor, that's fine. You can go to the floor. But many of us are going to get more benefit from a lift underneath the forehead. Soften the face. Take your hands underneath your shoulders, push to come up. Put the block to the side, lie back on your mat, bend your legs, take your feet on the floor. Bend your legs into your chest, take your hands on the face of your knees. On your inhalation, let your legs move away from you. On your exhalation, let your legs draw towards you. So take a few breaths like this at the pace of your breath. Inhaling, legs moving away. Exhaling, legs moving towards you. Then on your next exhalation, take your legs into the body. Take hold around the right shin only, or if it's more comfortable, you can take hold behind the knee. Take your left foot onto the floor near your buttocks. Draw the right thigh towards you. Drag your left heel on the floor and straighten your left leg. The left thigh turns in. Please soften your groins. On your inhalation, let your right leg, the one that's into your chest, move away from you. On your exhalation, allow it to draw towards you. Inhaling, leg moves away. Exhaling, draws towards you. As you draw the leg towards you on the exhalation, take the right outer hip away from your right shoulder, still two sides of the torso equal in length. And as you draw your right thigh towards you, lengthen through your inner left leg. On your next exhalation, draw the thigh into your torso and keep it there. Bend your left leg next to your right leg. And switch legs. Hands around your left shin or again behind your knee is fine. Right heel on the floor. Keep the left thigh drawing towards your torso. Drag the right heel on the floor to straighten your right leg. The right thigh turns in. On your inhalation, let your left leg move away from your torso. On your exhalation, draw towards your torso. As you draw that left leg towards your torso on the exhalation, take your left outer hip away from your shoulder. And as you draw your left thigh towards your torso on the exhalation, extend through your inner right leg. Groins long, groin soft. On your next exhalation, keep your left thigh into your torso. Draw your right leg in to meet your left leg. Give yourself a hug here. Now is a beautiful opportunity to say something kind to yourself, remembering that the purpose of yoga is to still the fluctuations of the mind so that you can bathe in your own true splendor. Take a moment here and now to bathe in your own true splendor. On your inhalation, allow your feet to come to the floor. Straighten your legs one at a time. Let your legs fall out to the sides. Take your arms comfortably out to the sides and let go. Let go here. Let the arms and the legs flow away from the torso. Let the arms and legs flow away from the torso. Let the torso itself Surrender to the Mother Earth below you. Now finding an evenness. We've done a lot of twists, finding evenness as if you are lying on a sandy beach, leaving an imprint in the sand. In that imprint, when you come out, you'll see that that imprint is even on the two sides. And completely surrendering the torso, the arms, the legs, and surrendering the skull itself. Finding a releasing of all the facial features, the forehead, the eyebrows, the cheekbones, the cheeks, the nose, the lips and mouth, the jaw, finding a releasing of the inside of the mouth, the tongue, letting go, resting on your lower palate, broadening across the upper palate, the lower palate, and even relaxing your teeth and your gums, finding a relaxation of the mouth, the inside of the mouth. Now imagining that the pores on your body, all over your body, are little lungs covering your whole body, all the skin on your body, and inhaling through each and every pore and exhaling through each and every pore. A peaceful breath, smooth breath, nothing harsh, but gently directing it through the pores of your skin. To begin slowly coming out of your Shavasana, take a soft, smooth, peaceful inhalation and a longer, smooth, peaceful exhalation. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your nose. Bend your legs, place your feet on the floor with your knees together, your feet apart. Take your hands onto your abdomen or onto your chest. When you feel ready, pick a side, extend your arm past your ear, roll to that side. Take a few breaths here. When you feel ready, take your top hand, place it on the floor in front of your heart, turn your torso towards the floor, push to come up chest first, head last. Come up to sitting, bring your palms together. Stacking your vertebrae one by one on top of each other, lengthening through the side ribs. Draw your eyes back and down as you turn the corners of your lips up. Observing your practice. What's different? What's changed? And let's close our practice together by chanting one collective Om. Deep inhalation. Gently let your eyes open.